Hi everyone, welcome to Leadership Moments. I want to do a series on just how to manage your life, your inner life, how to manage your soul, and I've called the series Riverbanks for Life because it's one of those things that have really helped me kind of establish the parameters of how the river of my life flows. If you have this sense of a river that is kind of heading towards the sea, it flows wide, it's swampy. But if you want power, if you want life in kind of the life of your river, if you can imagine your inner life operating like a river, you've got to bring the banks in a little bit. And I've discovered a few keys that really help me in bringing the banks in and allowing the inner life, and the energy that I have to flow strongly through my life. And the first one that I want to pick up in this series is the word silence. There's no doubt that silence is a critical component of your life. I don't mind silence, but I don't think I naturally lean into the idea of silence. I prepare most of my messages in coffee shops. I like the ambient noise that's around me, and yet, because of that ambient noise, it often becomes quite difficult to hear God. It becomes difficult to still your inner life, to be able to be spiritually aware and sensitive to what God is saying. And so I think it needs to become an exercise of our lives as leaders, is to embrace the idea that we need to create moments of silence. We need to still ourselves down a little more. It says in Psalm 46 verse 10, "Be still and know that I'm God." And I want you to notice this, because stillness comes before knowing. It's strange how in leadership context we have this pursuit of knowledge. We have a pursuit of the knowledge of God. We want to know God. We want to know more about Him. But actually knowledge comes after stillness. First we have to, in a sense, get down to the pace of God. We have to slow ourselves down. We often have the impression that God has this amazing pace. He's it's moving, there's a lot of life. And yet I think that the pace of our lives is of such a frenetic nature that we actually can't hear God. We need to slow down to His pace. God gets everything done without being in a hurry. And I love that idea. I love the Dallas Willard story, which I'm sure that you've heard quoted in many leadership gatherings. He was at a symposium talking about who Jesus was. And as part of the deal, they had all these big theologians all lined up on a stage. And they were asked to describe Jesus in one word. And so they went from theologian to theologian, and Dallas Willard happened to be on the end of that particular line of theologians. You know, the first guy described God as glorious and king and son, and all these different theological ideas. And then they came to Dallas Willard at the end of the line, and he said, "To me, Jesus is described best in the word relaxed." And I thought, there's nothing frenetic about Jesus. He's relaxed. The miraculous is relaxed. His interaction with people seems to have just ample amounts of time in it. And there, I think, is part of the key, that we learn how to quieten our lives down, that we learn how to be silent, how to still our lives, and not always have to have something in our ears, some iPods in. And I know we're living in a world where there's just a lot of activity, and it feels like we're going to block the world out by sticking music into our own ears. And I'm not against it. I do it myself. But we need to also cultivate the idea that we need to be quiet, because in quietness, in silence, we have this connection with God. We have this ability to hear Him and still the ambient noise of our lives enough to be able to hear the still small whispers of the Holy Spirit. This has become a critical component of keeping the energy of my life flowing strongly, is to create a place of stillness in my life. And I hope that helps you.